Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about Naas history in Ireland. Naas has had a long and colorful history. In annals and records the name appears in three forms, namely, Naas Laíon meaning place of assembly of the Leinster men, and Naas na Rí meaning place of assembly of the kings. The latter is the Irish form of the name now used. Naas was founded, according to Bardic tradition, by Louis of the Long Hand, and from the earliest times was an important centre. It was for almost 7 centuries the seat of the kings of Leinster. The last king to reside here was Kildare, who died in AD 904. St. Patrick visited Naas in AD 448 and baptized King Dunling's children at the well at Old Town, near the town. In 1170 the Normans arrived and the barony of Naas was granted by Strongbow to Maurice Fitzgerald. The grant was confirmed to his son, William Fitzmaurice, by Henry II in 1177. Under the Anglo-Normans many changes was made. The parish church, originally dedicated to St. Patrick or the local St. Corbin, was rebuilt and rededicated to St. David, the Welsh patron saint. King Henry IV granted Naas its first charter as a corporation in 1409. 4 years later, in 1413 King Henry V granted the corporation power to collect tolls at all the entrances to the town. A new charter was granted by Queen Elizabeth I in 1568, adding a sovereign to the corporation. Naas was granted further charters by James I in 1609, Charles I in 1628, and by Charles II in 1671. The town was governed by these charters until 1840 when the corporation was dissolved by Act of Parliament. Between 1840 and 1854 the town was controlled by a grand jury. It had town commissioners from 1854 to 1900 and since then has been under the administration of the Urban District Council. If you're enjoying the content and want to see more like this, just hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps me out and keeps the good stuff coming your way. You know, there's so much out there to explore, from tips and tricks that can make your life easier to fun facts that'll impress your friends. Plus, I love sharing my thoughts on the latest trends and what's buzzing in the world right now. So, if you're into discovering new ideas and having a good time while doing it, don't forget to show some love. Your support means everything and keeps this community growing.